Hello and welcome to Mr. Manley History Teacher's latest video on how to successfully answer the "in what ways was something affected by something else" question, which is worth 8 marks in the Germany from 1890 to 1945 GCSE paper. Let's get started with my top tips on how to successfully answer this type of question. So for this type of question, you really need to focus on what is changing to a certain group of people or at different times in Germany in your answer to this question. The best answers will refer to one type of change or one impact that's taken place in the time period, and also who is affected by this change. Normally, more than one group of people will be affected. It could be people of a certain age. It could be people who belong to different professions or have different jobs. It could be working class people. It could be upper class people. So different groups of people will be affected by whatever it is you're being asked about. You want to spend approximately 10 minutes answering this question, and you should be looking to write approximately, and again, this depends on how much time you have left in your assessment, you want to be looking to write about 2 to 3 paragraphs for your answer to this question. So here's the model question that we're going to be looking at. In what ways were Germans affected by hyperinflation? Now, for this type of question, you must refer to hyperinflation in your answer. If you don't refer to hyperinflation in your answer, you're probably not going to get a mark higher than 2 out of 8 for this type of question. So you must refer to hyperinflation, and I'll highlight that now in your answer. However, in terms of the types of Germans that you need to reference in your answer, you've actually got a really wide choice. You can choose to reference German workers, you could reference German savers, you could reference German students or pensioners. You've got more flexibility and more options on which Germans you reference in this type of question. Let's have a look at the model answer itself. So one of the ways in which German people were affected by hyperinflation was that the middle class were drastically impacted. So that's the group that we're going to be focusing on, the type of German group. As a result of the mark becoming almost worthless due to the German government printing of more money, many savers found their money could no longer buy them the most basic of goods. And we've got an example there as well to show some good knowledge and understanding. So a lot of German people couldn't afford the most basic of goods like bread or eggs. In fact, the money became so worthless, children were given money to use as toys. People even burnt paper notes to keep themselves warm because it would be more expensive to buy logs and wood to light fires than it would to actually light the paper money itself. And we can see that here with children playing with paper notes. Let's look at another group though, because like I mentioned already, in this type of question, you need to reference more than one group of people or at least one different period of time in your answer. So we're going to be writing about different groups of Germans who are affected by hyperinflation here. Alternatively, a small number of Germans benefited from the crisis. Those who owed money in the form of loans found that they could repay these debts with relative ease. Because the value of money went down, people repaying loans to companies or businesses found they could do this quite easily. However, the vast majority of Germans on fixed incomes, like students and pensioners, found their incomes did not keep up with prices. So again, we've referenced another group of Germans, another type of Germans who were affected, in this case negatively, by hyperinflation. Don't forget, people can be affected or impacted by events in positive or negative ways. So you can write about the positive consequences and negative consequences of hyperinflation. So don't get too drawn up on writing about negative consequences or just positive consequences. You can write about both in your answer. Let's recap those top tips for how to answer this type of question. So don't forget, you need to reference change in this type of question. What's happened as a result of something else happening? The best answers will refer to more than one type of change or more than one group who's affected by whatever it is that's happened, be it hyperinflation or the Wall Street crash or any of events that take place. And finally, you want to spend about 10 minutes answering this type of question, about 2 to 3 paragraphs. If you enjoyed listening and watching to this video, give it a like and subscribe to my page, Mr. Manley History Teacher.